Hello, I'm Xarkun. This is that boats game. You know what it's called. William Sims here on the screen. Level 16 Hyde, level 16 Cunningham as inspirations. You might question the Hyde inspiration if you want, but, he is the commander I'm using on the USS Iowa in the following game. We're going to be on the Atlantic map, domination mode, and this is going to be a pretty good game. I took the Iowa out today because I am on a segment for the Alaska Bureau project, which requires a victory in the Iowa for 100,000 points. So, I needed to get a win. I got that, and I got a pretty great game in the process. There are a couple things to point out in this match, too. A couple mistakes on the part of destroyers. It's kind of a mission of mine to try and persuade destroyer players in domination mode to pay more attention to the objectives, that is capture circles, and less attention to trying to get dev strikes with torpedoes on battleships. One of those things is more valuable than the other, and one of them contributes to winning games a lot better than the other. I'm sure you can guess which one it is, but maybe I'll spell it out explicitly as we move on. The friendly Cossack note, who I was looking at earlier, appears to have gone AFK, probably disconnected from the server as soon as he started the game, which is unfortunate. He's not going to be able to provide support to me or the friendly Wichita as we move in toward the Alpha cap, which I do feel safe in doing. Why? Notice that the Bravo cap is being flipped by an unspotted ship. Likely that is the enemy Benson. So pushing in here shouldn't be too much of a danger, and we spot our first target. Enemy Wichita. Not giving quite broadside, but giving just enough angle so that we can penetrate him with 4 shells. They say overpens, but we got a double citadel there. Took 33,000 of his hit points right off. And we're going to try to finish him off with the rear turret here. Of course, he's giving flat broadside now, so we get overpens. Not quite enough to take him down. Friendly Wichita misses there. So we shoot the forward gun, our forward turret. Take away the rest of his hit points. First kill, first blood, 41,000 damage done. Off to a great start, as the announcer says. We're going to turn now because we know the Benson was in Bravo and there's a battleship there. We want to angle against him. And look at that. There's the Benson on the minimap. I notice him now. He is coming for me. Now, this is a mistake on this player's part that I want to point out. Not trying to be mean to him, not trying to insult his intelligence or anything, but you can see what happens when you try to YOLO torp a battleship so early on in the game. He had already launched his torpedoes in the direction that I was going, but I turned, so I avoided them. Now he's played all of his cards. He's only got the guns against me. I'm angled against that battleship right in front of me, so there's no danger of him hitting my citadel. And the Benson is far too close to me to disengage. He's already used his smoke screen. So once these guns are reloaded, he's going to die. There he goes. Second kill of the game. And yeah, so you can YOLO torp battleships if you want to in a destroyer, but it needs to be later on in the game, after you've already banked a lot of points by flipping cap circles and all the rest of that. Throwing away your ship, especially when you're the only destroyer on your team, is going to put your team at a distinct disadvantage. Our destroyer, meanwhile, is flipping the Bravo cap. He looks like he's about to succeed, and I've got a Gneisenau coming for me. So I don't want to get any closer to him, lest he hit me with his torpedoes, which I'm sure is exactly what he wants to do. I believe that is the dream of every Gneisenau captain out there. Instead, though, he's going to have to content himself with launching torpedoes at the friendly Wichita. No telling whether they're going to hit. Looks like the Wichita was running hydroacoustic search, but the Gneisenau hits the Wichita anyway, and then takes the Wichita out for a close quarters expert. I bet that felt pretty satisfying for him. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't have a lot of hit points left. He's taken some fire from the other friendly battleship who's kind of out there to the east. And now he's turning, I think, to expose broadside to me so he can launch torpedoes off the other side of his ship. Although I am dangerously close to being outside of his torpedo range. And that broadside that he gave me is enough for me to hit him and take him down for the third kill of the match. 80,000 damage done so far. We are on fire. We've already burned the damage control, and I'm sure there are torpedoes on the way. There they are, but they're widespread torps, so pretty easy to avoid those. No danger of being hit. We want to shoot at this Wichita now, since at this point, really, the HE spammer is the biggest threat to me. Running a full accuracy build with flammable cannoneer does make you a little bit more vulnerable to the fire damage, and it can eat away at your hit points pretty quickly if you're not careful. In fact, I think I think it was mostly that Wichita out there who took off the majority of my hit points. Might have got peppered a little bit with some Benson shells, maybe chunked a tiny bit by some Gneisenau shells, but the HE there is the thing that has taken away most of my hit points. So I want to kill the HE spammers as quickly as possible. The Iowa is much more in its element when it's fighting other battleships. It's very heavily armored. It's got guns that punch through things like nobody's business. And of course, being an American battleship, it does have access to those improved penetration angles with the AP. So we're going to be in our element here moving forward in the game. We've taken 2 of the cap circles. The enemy has just succeeded in flipping Charlie, and it looks like the majority of their team is over there. So now, unfortunately, you're going to see a mistake on the friendly destroyer's part here. He is requesting support, but there's no reason whatsoever for him to be charging toward the Charlie cap. In fact, he pings it, asks, the rest of the team to cap it, and I say negative, tell him to get back. Why? Because literally the entire enemy team is over there. Him charging forward in an attempt to take that cap circle is not the best play. Let's just say we've got 2 of the cap circles, 2 out of 3, a majority. All we have to do in order to win this game is pretty much retreat and protect the cap circles. Now, obviously, I'm not retreating. I'm moving into a position where I can shoot these enemy ships out here. The Colorado is first up. Looks like he may turn and give broadside. We'll see. I think, though, that is about all the angle he's going to give me. So I release the shot, or maybe I don't. Looks like there we go. I release the shot. Don't get spotted because of the island cover. And there's no destroyers out there to see me, so that's a free shot. Somewhat lucrative, not the best. Anyway, take a look at the mini-map. We've got 2 cruisers and the destroyer up there in sort of the eastern border of the map. They are retreating, cruisers kiting away. That destroyer, I think, is going to die here pretty soon. I think he might be trying to YOLO torp that enemy battleship around that island. But right now I'm focused on the Colorado. He's giving a lot more broadside. Well, maybe not a lot more, but this hit's a little bit more lucrative, somewhere around 9 or 10k there. With 5 full penetrations, he's hurting pretty badly. And I'm going around this island. I'm still unspotted. I start to slow down, probably a bit too late, worried I'm going to go around the island and not have shots on this guy. Luckily I don't, and I release the salvo. Some of the shells do hit the island, but this should be enough to take... Yep, there he goes. Enough to take him down. So that's 4 kills, 105,000 damage done. There are 3 enemy ships left versus 5 of ours. You can see the Cossack torpedoes going toward that enemy battleship, and I believe he is going to be sinking shortly. I think by the end of the game he is dead. Again, though, all we have to do is defend these 2 capture points. The onus is on the enemy team to take them or to kill all of us if they want to win. That's going to be a pretty difficult thing for them to do. Hit the Cleveland there for nice amount of damage. Kinda hoping for a citadel and a deletion, but we don't get it. That's alright, though. We're up to 120,000 damage. That Cleveland's gonna die. If I can get the final say on him, it'll be a Kraken unleashed. So, can I do it? Let's see. The guns are almost reloaded. And as soon as we fire, he goes down to one of the friendlies. So, no Kraken for me. Luckily, I got a Vladivostok that was giving pretty much flat broadside there, at least for a moment. And he still is, in fact. So this is a very juicy shot. Only him and the other battleship left. We've still got a massive points lead. They'd have to kill all of us in order to have any hope of winning this game. It's looking more and more daunting for them to do so. I don't think they can climb out of this hole. So I open up my angle quite a bit, kind of angling toward the other battleship, which is shooting at me, and I think he... Oh no, that destroyer's still alive. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is going to live throughout this whole game. Anyway, the Vladivostok does get a hit on me, but he is turning to completely exposed broadside now. He was kind of kiting away. I guess... Okay, there's a nasty hit from him. That might have been a citadel. So... that hurt, but this is going to hurt him more. And I don't even look. Cool ships don't look at explosions. As the mighty jingle says, Vladivostok goes down. We get a citadel, the Kraken unleashed, and the Confederate medal. Up to 145,000 damage now. Only an enemy Gneisenau left. I thought the Cossack was going to die. The Cossack doesn't die, and in fact, I think his torpedoes are going to take out the enemy Gneisenau and end the game. So we're going to finish with a Kraken unleashed and 145,000 damage done. Not a bad showing in the old Iowa. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already done that. Leave a comment below, too. I love talking to you guys. Alright, see you next time. Goodbye.